Right.
Look at me. So need a haircut. We think alike, don't we?
We do indeed.
So when I was
I'm a bit worried now.
You're now wondering where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Do you remember one day we were both in town? We'd gone our separate ways for some bizarre reason.
Yes,
not sure why.
yes. I remember this story.
You'd done the trawl of the charity shops.
Yeah.
I then was doing a trawl of the charity shops. I went in a charity shop, saw something. It was more than I'd normally pay.
Yeah.
I bought it anyway because it looked good.
Yeah.
Came out and then looked at my phone to see a text message from you going, oh, if you go in the British Heart Foundation shop, there's this really cool board game there, but it might be a little bit expensive. I'd already bought it.
Well, it caught my eye from the shop window actually, because it was before they rearranged it, because they've now shoved all the board games.
Yeah, board games are at the back of that one now.
But that's irrelevant. But
Add a detail.
I had chips here as well. And I was like, ooh. When I saw it, I thought, I'll have a look at that. But yeah, I saw the price and thought, don't know. So I left it to the boss. And
I just took the executive decision. I bought it, asked questions later.
So I decided. So yeah, we both decided that we liked the game. And
well, the thing is though, reach for the site. You just look at this though, and it just looks. It screams vintage.
It does. You see, that was a thing though. At the time when I saw it, I wasn't sure whether it was, because there are now
there's the retro.
They now sort of make games look old. And I was thinking, is that an old game? Because the box is in incredibly good condition.
I nearly got caught out by one of those in a charity shop recently, actually, when we were down in Kent. But anyway, this one, though, Reach for the Summit.
Yeah.
Boom. The condition is... I'm rubbing my hands over it.
Yeah.
It's impeccable.
It's beautiful. I mean, it's a beautiful box.
I think this has been played once.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And this is an original game, it's not a reissue or anything.
I did look at what year this was, and I think it was 1975. This was,
so it's older than me
and me, but not both.
That surprised a lot of you, didn't it?
Anyway, so this was part of the Berwick Masterpiece Series. Now, in the corner there, you've got a picture of some man. Now, I remember this man, but I can't think what other games are in this series now. But I think actually there's a leaflet in here. We might come to that in a minute. Anyway, so Reach for the Summit, as the box picture artwork thingy suggests, it's all about mountaineering type stuff. It is indeed,
yes.
And I did then, when writing up about this on Penny Plays, go down a bit of a rabbit hole of looking up like mountaineering achievements 1975 to work out if there was a reason why this was released then. And I couldn't find anything. No, I don't. But I went down a big rabbit hole about how many people...
Or released then, or at all, to be honest, because it's quite a...
Well, I wasn't sure if something about K2 happened then, maybe.
Maybe.
But I ended up down some rabbit hole about reading about how many people die coming down a mountain rather than going up a mountain.
I was about to say...
Which is relevant to the game.
I was about to say, because interestingly, there is these 4 guys here, and there is the rope that's snapped here, and it looks like these 3 guys are about to die.
Nice.
And it's kind of...
cheery.
Yeah, it's kind of cheery.
But here's the man raising the Union Jack on his climbing axe thingy as well. So it's very
Union flag. So Union Jack, it was on a boat.
Oh yeah. But everyone knows what I mean, don't they? Anyway, so Reach for the Summit, a game for 2, 3 or 4 players, 8 years and over. We'll come back to the age in a minute.
Yeah. It's interesting about ages, I think.
Now, this game, we have played this.
We have.
We played this with my sister and her husband.
Yes.
So we have fully tested this game out. Wow.
Yeah. Strategy is the major key with this game.
It took us 2 hours.
Yeah. Your sister got rather fed up because
she basically
got nowhere.
So the way this works is, if we open up the board and show you, now
I'm going to have to be behind the board again.
Here is the summit of the mountain in the middle, right? And then you've got, it's for maximum of 4 players, okay? So in each of the 4 corners, you've got 4 base camps. And then you've got supply camps. You've got 6 of those dotted around the board. And the aim is to get to this bit in the middle here, the summit of the mountain. Okay? Right, you can put the board down.
Okay.
Well, quickly though, one thing to note. Sorry, back up with the board. Each of these lines here is a climbing route, okay? Mm-hmm. They're different colours, red, green and yellow.
Yeah.
And that denotes how difficult they are. We'll come to the levels of difficulty in a minute. The climbers can only be at the intersections of the routes, okay? So I'll explain what that means in a minute. You've got 4 teams. They start in the corners.
Yep.
Now, the way this works is that each team has 5 men in their climbing team. if that's the right term to use.
Yeah.
Now, these men in their climbing team, there's 4 colours, so there's the 4 red, the typical 4 colours, so red, yellow, blue, green, okay. Now, you get 5 playing pieces for each team, 1 set of 3, which are roped together.
Or pre-roped together, little plastic ropes, quite
white ropes. They're quite thing. And then there's 2 more which have a black rope.
Yeah.
Now these are, let me get the terminology right
I'm
here.
assuming that focuses on I don't know, it probably doesn't.
They're the supply. No, hang on, let me get this right. No. They are the support party.
Support party, the 3 guys.
The 3, and then the assault. No, not assault.
Yeah.
Yes, assault. I'm thinking assault like you assault someone.
Yeah, no,
it is.
Well, it is because you're assaulting.
Okay, right. Anyway, assault party and the support party. And
these are the support guys, support party.
Yeah.
These are the assault party.
They're the assault. So the way this works is on the board, in the corner, you remember I had each of the base camps in the corner. These 3, the supply party, sit at the front of that space. So like the ones closest to the summit, if that makes sense.
So in the yellow, you've got yellow, so there'll be the 3 here, so that one, and that one. They go here, they start here.
And then the assault party are the 2 spaces at the back. Yeah. So that is relevant.
Yeah.
So what happens then? Your support party of 3, they have to climb and reach one of these supply camps, okay? Yeah. So any of the 6, doesn't matter which, they have to reach these, and once they're there, then your ascent party. I don't like the word assault.
Well, that's what they call it.
All right. They can then set off.
Yeah.
Now, the way it works is that you have to get one of your team members to be on the summit.
Yeah.
And that should be one of the black ones.
Yes.
And they have to then be roped up.
All be linked together, yeah.
Roped up. There's another rope here. So
they cannot reach the summit. The assault team cannot reach the summit without being attached to the support team.
So there you go. You have one long line of 5 then, all roped together.
Once like you said, once you get to the support team move along whichever route, the colours are relevant depending on difficulty.
We'll come to those.
And so once they get to a a supply camp, then the assault team can move, and at any point in the game you can link up. Now, this has advantages and disadvantages, as we've discovered.
Well, yeah, so let's go on to how we actually, move people.
They can obviously only link up when they're close to each other. You can't just link up randomly.
Flipping out. They have to be next to each other to be able to link up. Now, this is where the game gets complicated.
Yeah.
You don't have dice in this game. You have 2 spinners.
Yeah.
You have the blue spinner and the red spinner. So let's start with the blue spinner, because that's the one you spin first. This is the climbing conditions spinner.
Yes.
So you spin this first, and you'll get something like clear weather, normal score, lose supplies, support party returns, acclimatise to altitude, add 1 to score, that sort of thing. So it all sounds, it talks about the score, but at this point you're like, well, what score? Don't really know what you're on about. The reason for this is that your second spinner, this red one here, has numbers on it. That is your score, okay? This tells you whether or not you've got your straight score, or whether you're adding, subtracting, multiplying, whatever. Now, also on here is a little triangle with numbers 1, 2, 3. This is all to do with the climbing routes that Bond showed you on the board. So the green ones are the easiest, and you need to use 1 point.
I'll go here because it's easier this side. So if you've got your 3 guys here, as in your support party here,
or
and support party, and you dial a 6 like it is on there, then you have to move. You can move you can move your men,
but they have to stay attached. Well, you have to use up all your points score.
Yeah, you have to use them all up.
All of them. You have to use them all, because if you can't use them all up, you can't have a go.
So effectively, so you move the first one, say, and it'd be across this yellow one. So the yellow one would be 3 points.
Because that's a difficult route.
So that'd be only 3 points left. So then you'd have to then work out, right, how am I going to get the other 2 guys to move along a route? And you
don't have to move all 3.
No, but you have to use up all the points.
You have to use up all the points.
If you can't use up all the points, then you can't move.
And you can't backtrack. So you can't go, I'll go forward 1 and back 1 to use up 2 points. That doesn't work either. So that's where the game's a bit of a because you've got to try and work out how you're using up your points all the time, and also how you move the men, and the instructions are a little bit vague there.
They are, yes.
They've got to stay connected, so you could imagine almost like wiggling your way up the mountain. But also, it seems that if you're all going in a straight line together, you're allowed to do that. And
yeah,
the
yeah.
instructions are really.
We had a few issues with how you
interpret the instructions.
So like you said, if they are, for example, all in a line, so you've got one here, one here, one here, one here, one here, and the points dictate it. So, for example, if there's 1, 2, 3, so if there's 3 here along this bit here, and you score, say, 6, you can effectively move all 3 guys along here because that's 2, and that's 2 points, not individually. And that we found this. There are so many rules in this game that are
nonsensical,
down to interpretation.
Yeah.
One of them, which we found quite annoying, was when you lose your supplies and the supply team have to go back to. It says, what does it say?
Lose supplies, support party returns.
But to where? Do they return to here or do they return back to base?
Yeah.
We didn't actually know
and also,
that.
what if they're already roped up to your assault party?
Yeah.
Does everyone have to go back?
But
where do they go back to? And
there's no instructions on that.
But also, the way to win the game, it's the first team that gets to the summit and back to base camp.
Yes.
So it doesn't necessarily, just because you've made it to the summit doesn't mean you've won.
No. Because you then have to get back again.
Yeah, and as I discovered from all my research, plenty of people die coming back down the mountain.
Yes, exactly.
But then,
well, that's apparently it's like more like people. There's more people die coming down again because they've reached the top and they've.
I don't know. Anyway, but then it gets more confusing because if you're coming down and you spin and get this lose supplies, support party returns, then is that played to your advantage?
Yeah, that's the thing because we were doing it. The support party has to disconnect and goes back to the supply base. Now,
I don't know what's right.
We don't because there's no clear instructions on it. So we felt that we went back to the supply base rather than.
Well, if they'd got to the supply base.
Yeah.
Because if you span that and you hadn't yet got to the supply base and we took them back to the base camp.
But I now think, in hindsight, that it says return. I think it means back to base, back to start.
Yeah.
Because then it makes the game really hard. Because if you get that one and you've got nearly up the mountain, and then your support team has lost their supplies, they have to go all the way back down again. And your assault team, cannot reach the summit until they are attached back to the support team.
Then bear in mind, we played for 2 hours and we only sent people back to the supply camp.
Yes.
Flipping heck. And which supply camp? Because that's the other thing. Do you go to the supply camp you used? What if someone else is now at that supply camp?
So I think it is because, and the other reason I think that is because on the supply camp there are 4 spaces. So if you return back to the supply camp, you could go any of those, and it kind of can. So you can use that to your advantage.
Think it should be sent
so
right
I think they should go back here because there's only 3 spaces.
I think you might be right, but it's a bit of a
it's a long game, and
it's hard work.
I think this brings us to the age on the game.
Well, yeah,
as in the age of the players.
Yeah, because it says it's for ages 8 and up.
Yeah.
Now I can't. My 8-year-old daughter.
No.
I can't see her playing that. A, because she hasn't got the concentration span to play a game for at least 2 hours.
Exactly.
And B, I'm not sure she could do the route stuff.
But also, this game was made in times where there weren't mobile phones or TV in the rooms.
And longer attention span and stuff like that.
You basically played a board game or you did something together with the family in the evenings. So maybe then there was, that's all you could... So you had the time and the headspace to actually play the game. So, but now I think a modern 7-year-old, is it?
8.
Modern 8-year-old.
They'd struggle.
Struggle with it, and they'd just find it too boring because it's a good game.
It reminded me a bit of the game Kensington.
Yes.
Do you remember we played? This was a game that was it was another 1970s one.
Yeah, it must have been about the same era.
And it's got a similar sort of structure on the board in that I think that was hexagons, and it's all about having pieces that you move to try and capture shapes or something.
Yeah.
There is a review on Penny Blogs about that, or Penny Plays about that. But yeah, I don't know. I think it was hardcore for an 8-year-old.
It was. I think.
If we'd have sat down and played it with her, I think she'd have got bored and gone to bed.
I think so. I think it would have, because to be honest, I think by the end of it we were all a bit bored, and I think, especially,
If we'd have understood the rules better, we might have not got into it more. I think we were struggling at times with the interpretation of the rules.
And it's not a particularly fast-paced game. And 2 hours on the board game is a long time. I mean, I know people have played Monopoly for days and days, but it's not Monopoly, and it's so I can see why this game wasn't played or was only played once.
Yeah, but
because I think it was
about the retro charm.
Oh yeah,
definitely,
definitely.
Really like.
Yeah.
But before we go though, the bit I was going to talk about was the Berwick Masterpiece Series.
Yeah.
Which we had the logo on the corner of the box and everything. As I say, I recognise that. I wonder if they did jigsaws as well. Or something.
I think they did that little logo. We can get it on there.
The guy with his posh tash and everything. Now in there was a little cute little leaflet here about the Masterpiece Series, a new generation of board games, and it's worth kind of looking at this because these are just some of the others they published at the time. So there's Mission Impossible. Danger lurks around every corner in the world of international espionage, where an agent is only as good as his cover. As you piece together your opponent's identities, they are taken out of the circuit until just one survives. But as you track down your assignment, you in turn are the target of another hired assassin.
That sounds really good, actually.
It does. I'll keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, that'd be
that's 3 to 6 players, 10 years and over.
Yeah.
There's a Battle of Britain game here, which again is a 10 and up one. The stage is set and 4 squadrons of Spitfires wait fueled and ready for takeoff. Waves of enemies... sorry, the font's a bit funny there. Waves of enemy bombers hurl themselves across the channel towards the beleaguered defences. Squadrons scramble, make altitude and get on his tail. This is the war game.
Right.
Then they've got Reach for the Summit, and interestingly here they do say 10 years and over, which is different to what's written on the box.
Yeah, which I would say that's probably...
that might be more appropriate. Then there's another game called Slapstick, 7 years and over.
That looks funny.
Here's another fine mess you've gotten me into.
Oh, Lauren Hardy.
Join the immortal Stan and Ollie in a Movieland madhouse of custard pies, soda siphons and crazy gorillas. Here's all the lunatic fun of the chase, plus the sheer mirth of the business that made these old-time movie stars the kings of comedy. So that's all quite cool. On the other side, you've got the Old Shell game. The oldest, newest game in the world that everyone should play before going out into the big wide world. This is the hide-and-seek board race that's 1/3 jiggery pokery, 1/3 bamboozling and 100% fun. Crack the secret of your opponent's nut before they reach base. So that's 6 and over. Dog's Body. Who dealt these cards? I don't stand a dog's chance. Don't you believe it? It's a dog's life for everyone in this match and snatch special from Berwick.
Right.
Just get your old dog's body together, then slammo. What terminology?
Right.
Watch them guess and grab for the model dogs, and the winner. Why, the winner gets the bone. What else? There's also then one called Monkey Business and another one called Monster Madness, and they're kind of aged 6 and over and 5 and over. So, as I say, I'm kind of keeping an eye out for the Berwick Masterpiece Series because I get a feeling that there's a few gems there, and I probably ought to do a bit more research really as to what else comes on.
Yep.
So, there you go.
That was Reach for the Summit.
Yeah.
I hope you understood it, because we didn't.
And if you like what you saw here, don't forget to like and subscribe down below, and make sure that you're following Penny Plays for loads more vintage board games. Bye.
See ya.